I'm still driving home, so technically I'm not here.
All right, all right. Well, thusly assembled, I suppose we'll start this recap. First thing, first thing I do before I even recap, Logus, I need you to roll a bunch of dice real quick. No, just kidding. Okay. Last session began as the Sands of Justice entered the Autumn Court, a quaint, magical, autumnal village filled with a wide variety of fey folk. Blade and Logos almost immediately distracted by a pair of nymphs in a nearby cottage. The remaining party members press inward into the village, stopping at the Greenleaf Tavern for a few drinks and a bit of info about this strange magical village in the Feywild. While Blade and Logos enjoy a bit of tea and music, amongst other things, with their newfound hosts, Gladir, Renwick, and Locris gather what info they can from the tavern and find their way to a strange alcoholic gnome known as Ick. The only trader in the entire village, as it turns out. Renwick, plying the gnome with a bit of fey liquor, opened negotiations on the right foot, and though Ick required a contest as well as an emotional memory to be part of the negotiations, the party found themselves some new fey gear and trinkets. With their shopping concluded, and the party reuniting at the cottage of some very distracting nymphs, they press onward, soon finding themselves in the center of the village at its great hall. Interested in them, the autumnal princess inquired as to why they were here in the Feywild and what business brings them to the Autumn Court. Gladir and Logos, with the help of a Zone of Truth spell or two, relay their mission of finding and rescuing Logos's father. The princess agrees to help, but must show them something and make them make a promise first. They travel below the Great Hall via spiral staircase into a cold and ice-covered bedchambers where the unseelie king of the Winter Court lay entombed in ice upon a lavish bed. She, in an attempt to save her uncle from his cold, lonely, and depressed icy state, agrees to help the party, but only on the condition that they not bring harm to her auntie, the unkind queen, for she is family. She states that none of you are to use might, magic, or malice against her, and representing the party, Blade agrees and seals the deal with a handshake. As soon as the deal is struck, the party is blinded by the stinging cold, the blowing of strong icy winds, and the white of snow. As their vision returns, they find themselves in the middle of a snow and ice-covered tundra, at the foot of a white, spiraling tower, also covered in ice, and reaching solemnly into the sky. And that is kind of where we are now. So as far as the eye can see in all directions are just what almost like a desert has dunes, but instead of sand, these are dunes of snow and ice. And standing before you, maybe 100 feet, is this massive spire, this tower that reaches high into the sky. It is night here and exceptionally cold. So, tell me kind of how you guys proceed.
Am I correct here, Blade? Did you just promise that we won't smack the queen upside the head? Otherwise, we're cursed.
Maybe a little bit.
Glade is just like squatting on the ground with like his head in his hands. Like,
Well, to be fair, Locris, I mean, if we do have to hurt her, Blade will take the brunt of it. So that's a him problem.
No. She made sure to specify the sands of justice. That's all of us.
yeah, that's everyone.
But didn't he make the deal? So it's on him.
On our behalf.
he accepted the deal
Yep.
on our behalf. We all got
I-
it.
We're a union, and the union, I guess, spokesperson just made a deal on behalf of the union.
It seemed right at the time, Nothing that the sands of justice can't do, right?
I cast Blight on Blade.
God damn it.
Well, it's too late to take it back now. So
I have a feeling that his inner demons were a little drunk or high at the time.
We all have our demons, but I'd tell you all about him. But it's a story for another time. We've got a spire to attend to.
Even your shadow looks like, he slaps his forehead and shakes his head at you.
Oh, geez, you can't tell me that you wouldn't do the same thing. You must be
No, I
freezing.
wouldn't.
No, not you, Locris. This motherfucker right here. I point to the ground.
Do you see somebody there, Blade?
No, you don't see him? Constantly mocks me wherever I go.
Locris will just kind of lean towards Renwick. I think he caught something from one of his excursions in the Shadow Realm, and it's starting to play with him.
Blade's just in the background talking to this shadow.
I mean,
It occasionally gestures like fingers and points and laughs at you mostly.
We certainly can't rule out the possibility of syphilitic insanity. Certainly with his body count climbing so rapidly these days. But of course, now we're in the Fey realm, so God only knows what those STIs are like.
I mean, those pirates could have been carrying something that was warped. I mean, I heard chlamydia can make you a little mental, but
Worse than
maybe
scurvy.
there's a special kind. All right, gentlemen. While I don't mind this weather, pretty sure the rest of you would like to get out of it. Shall we figure out where the hell we're going and where we are?
Renwick's reaching into his bag of holding and pulling out his winter clothes that he had way back in the day when we took down the Silver Queen. He's just like bundling up. Kind of looks like Ralphie's brother from Christmas Story, but it's all like wolf pelts.
Yeah, weren't those like lavish and expensive clothes? I think
you
guys.
Oh yeah, they're super fancy.
You'd be looking super sharp in the cold weather as well.
Did when we got ported here, did Gabrielter come as well?
Yeah, certainly.
All right, perfect. Yeah, he'll be hanging tight with me, maybe putting a wing over me to guard me from the winds if there's any.
He is an official member of the Sands of Justice, so.
Yeah, I don't know where we'd be without him.
all right, so should we just I don't know, head straight for fire, or we head back? I'm a little flustered now. I don't know what to do.
As we look around, like the only thing in this immediate area is the frozen tower, correct? We're not like, on the outskirts of a whole city, or
No. So as you look around, it is it is like how the spring was eternally morning and the autumn was eternally dusk. The winter court is eternally midnight. So there are a few stars in the sky on this moonless night. but essentially there are just dunes of snow and ice in all directions, and about 100 feet away is just this natural, or not natural, this spiraling tower of marble, that white marble that looks to be covered in ice. On top of
You're
that,
cutting out there, Sean. At least for me.
okay, I'll disconnect, reconnect real quick. Give me just a sec. Shit, it made me take a survey when I tried to, when I disconnected. It was like, "How's the quality?" I was like, "Shitty."
Oh,
Okay, so hopefully better. Yes, no, maybe.
so far so good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so like I said, dunes of snow and ice in all directions. This white marble tower covered in ice, about 100 feet away, and yeah, essentially it's cold, quiet, a bit of a wind. But you do recall, hearing maybe once or twice that most of the life in the Winter Court is subterranean.
Should we go stealthily until we figure out the situation here?
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
That's always a safe bet. I assume we're going to go about the normal way. Locus and I up front, and you lot hanging a little bit further back.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right,
Cool the
so
fire.
how do you guys proceed? I assume stealthily, but, let me know what's up.
Yes, I think we're heading towards this tower stealthily with Renwick and Logus looking ahead, and then Glacier probably in the back with his hand on either Locus's or Blade's shoulder because you know midnight and fucking dragons don't have dark vision.
Okay, okay.
I'll cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone.
Oh yeah.
All right, perfect. Go ahead and give me some stealth checks as you guys approach.
31.
is that a +10?
Pass without a
Yes.
trace is a +10.
27 for Logus.
18.
Damn, very nice. And Locris? Oh, 21. Okay, I gotcha. All right, so yeah, as you guys stealthily approach, we'll say Renwick and Logos, take a bit of a lead, as they're a bit quieter and quicker when it comes down to it. As you guys approach this tower, it spirals upward and it seems to be completely encased in ice. But there is this massive archway with this, like, it almost reminds you of like high elven architecture, but even more ancient. It definitely represents like a grand entrance of sorts. The door itself looks also to be covered in ice, and Logos, on either side of this door, your passive perception is high enough that you see what you guys first thought were just, chunks of ice kind of leaning against this tower. Standing on either side of this frozen door also encased in ice, but moving ever so slightly. Short, shallow breaths, but, are these what are known as Fomorians. They are these giant, misshapen creatures that they look to be posted up on either side of the door and have not managed to detect you or your party yet.
I'll point them out to the group so everyone can, stop and see them before we're caught. And Renwick, do you see what I see?
I'm assuming that I have a 20 passive perception, but if not, when he points it out, Renwick will kind of like hunker down a little bit.
I didn't know you had a 20 passive perception. I'll make note of that as well. But yeah, in that case, you would see it as well. Like these giant, what appear to be guards standing on either side of these doors, covered in ice, but, breathing shallowly. And every once in a while, one will blink. They are very much, on duty.
Well, something tells me it's not going to be very easy to get through a frozen door, especially if it's got guards out front. And now that we're a little bit closer, looking around, do I see any other immediate areas that look like we could reach the wall? Like, are there any frozen like dunes or anything that come up high enough on the outer wall, or like any busted parts of the wall that we could see where we might be able to like bypass this front door?
Go ahead and give me a perception or investigation check.
15.
As you quickly glance around, taking gauge of the situation, it would appear that though this tower is made of like this white marble, large portions of it are also covered in thick ice, which, as far as you could tell, seems to only fortify it further. And it's pretty isolated and one of the only flat, smooth places, as far as you can see, with all these dunes of snow and ice. It is relatively flat for 100 yards or so around this tower.
Uh, does anybody by chance have the ability to just disappear these guards long enough for us to get through that door?
Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, we got. I think Blade and I can both cast Banishment, but that's only. Yeah, I can only get one target. I mean, if we both cast it at the same time.
I mean, I could maybe suggest them to go somewhere else.
I'm not
Or-
sure that a thing like that would even speak our language. That might be a bit of a problem. I mean, I suppose we could try to maybe banish one of them, and I can throw up a dome of silence, and we could try to assassinate the other one and move through the door quick enough. Something tells me that this lot isn't going to be terribly friendly. I suppose we could send one person out just to see how they react when somebody approaches, but I'm not really sure that that's course of action here.
I can throw a card from the deck of illusions. Use prestidigitation to make some sort of sound, and see if they go charging after that, and see if we could get around behind them afterwards.
That's worth a shot. The other question is, how are we going to get through that frozen door without alerting them to what we're doing?
That one I don't have an answer to.
Hmm.
Question. No,
What's up?
actually, I don't think that would work. Actually, well, so if I were to cast silence on the frozen door and then Blade were to shatter the frozen door from outside the radius of silence, would that just silence the shatter, but the magic would still go off? So he could effectively have like a silent C4 charge.
That's yeah, that would allow it. That makes sense to me.
Okay. So if we draw them away from the door, I throw up silence, Blade shatters the ice on the door, then we could try to sneak through that way.
I mean, I always love blowing stuff up.
What's the radius of shatter? Because the radius of silence is a 20-foot sphere.
It's 10 feet.
Okay, perfect. So it'll fit.
You do notice that these doors are not normal mortal man size. Like, these doors are large, big enough for these Fomorians, who are technically classified as giants, to walk through easily.
Is there any chance that we see a smaller door built into the larger doors for smaller creatures?
If you want to go ahead and give me another perception check or an investigation check comboed with a stealth check.
26?
As you scan the door, there does appear to be like a little slot. It is definitely encased in a chunk of ice, but there does appear to be like almost like the Wizard of Oz dwarf slot. It looks like for a watchman or a guard to verify the other side of the door, or who's on the other side of the door, rather.
Oh, it's more of a slit than it is like a smaller passage.
Yeah, a glorified. What is that? The hole you look through in your door to look out. I'm having a brain fart right now.
Oh, the like peephole or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called either.
A glorified one of those. Little slat. Looks like it's got a latch.
Well, something tells me that the door's probably locked from the other side. We might just have to walk up there and try to talk our way in.
Yeah. I mean, first things first, we gotta get these guys away from the door or find them.
Well, unless we want them to open it.
I mean, there is a chance that they don't attack us and they really are here just to fend off things that might be trying to siege. But perhaps if we don't approach with aggression, maybe they don't automatically try to kill us.
I mean, I do have an ability that allows me to kind of seem ourselves, kind of disguise ourselves. I don't know
Now,
what sort of,
there's an idea.
I'll kind of walk in, but I don't know exactly what they're used to seeing.
We could try to disguise ourselves as Eladrin from the various other courts.
That is a good point.
Or I suppose even just generic winter Eladrin. That'd probably be the best thing to blend in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea either. Just make us look like we belong, and then, worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, we just beat the fuck out of them.
I think that might be the best course of action, because I don't think, even if we get them away from the doors, by the time that we either blow those doors open or somehow get them to unlock it from the other side, we're going to draw quite a bit of attention. If we could just walk right through, that would certainly be the best approach, and then we wouldn't alert the queen that we're already here. She knows we're coming, but right now we still have the element of surprising her.
Well,
And
we know that the Winter Court elves, what they've looked like. We've met a few of them. We could always all you would have to do is change my skin color a little bit, but I am not the smoothest talker.
I mean, I could take a whack at it, but I mean, what would we say? Hi, we're here to talk and potentially steal someone from here.
We're here to
I
not
think
harm the queen. We're not lying.
I think that you could probably just say that we're looking to return to the Winter Court, and that we had a bit of a hairy night on some honey whiskey, and well, we got tricked into getting teleported, and we ended up on the outskirts of the tower. We're just trying to get back inside. It doesn't seem like an entirely uncommon occurrence in the Fae.
Oh, I mean, it's worth a shot. They don't look like they're the brightest.
You might not even be talking to them, really. It might be somebody a little bit more willing to speak to you in that little slit in the door. I think those guys are just there in case we try anything funny. So, for what it's worth, I vote the seeming option. I think if we go in as Winter Eladrin, we might be able to just sort of waltz right through. And that would also allow us to kind of move around the Winter Court without as many prying eyes.
I guess, is that yes for everyone? Any objections?
I mean, if we're trying to go the diplomatic way, I do have ways to confuse them and fuck with them, and or kick off a fight with damaging them. So it's entirely the route we decide to take. 'Cause I do have other things we can do.
Well, before we go up there, Blade, do you speak Sylvan?
I believe I don't.
Because that's one of the issues is whether you can actually understand. Because we don't
Oh,
know
okay.
what they speak. Do they speak Giant? Do they speak Sylvan? Do they speak Common?
I mean, Renwick, do you have a ability that helps you speak?
I unfortunately my magic sort of shifted around a little bit, but I do happen to have this, and he reaches into his bag and he pulls out a scroll of tongues, which dropping it in chat right now. Theoretically, might be what we need.
It is, because I have the spell too. I was just leading up to it.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
So we can use the scroll, or I could just cast the spell and.
Hey, Sean, how far away are we from these things right now?
I would say you kept a healthy distance, and kept the party back. You guys are, we'll call it about I'd say 50 feet or so, just far enough to kind of be hidden by the landscape ever so slightly, so you guys can remain unseen and unheard as you have this conversation.
Could I potentially get a ranged insight check or perception check of some sort to see if these things are showing any signs of intelligence, or are they kind of like stumbling, bumbling around like trolls would, picking their nose type thing? Like, do they seem to have any kind of intelligence?
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Oof, what a fucking time to I nat 20 for a total of 30.
Okay, I was gonna bust your balls on it, but I'll give you what you know. Okay, so with a nat 20, you would see that they might have urges similar to like trolls or ogres, where they're kind of bumbling or more idly concerned with picking their nose or something. But you can see that it's two things. It's a combination of the weather, but also it shows an extreme amount of discipline. They are standing on either side very stoically, and they look to have been standing there for quite some time, as icicles have formed on and around their bodies, almost indistinguishable from the patches of ice sticking to the tower until you got close. But this, even in this cold winter environment, that would take several weeks, maybe even several months of unmoving. So it shows at least a degree of discipline and control. Would give you you would assume they are at least a little bit intelligent. Or under a very, very powerful spell.
Maybe a spending a night or maybe an hour or two, maybe a little time to just keep eyes on this tower. Maybe we can see the comings and goings of anything, maybe get a little more information before we just start walking up. So I think one thing's for sure, that we do not want to kick off a fight here and alert the queen of our arriving, because that'll just make things more difficult. I think patience and time are on our side right now. Maybe we should utilize that right now.
I mean, that doesn't sound like the worst idea. And I mean, if you'd be so kind, you could allow us all inside of your hole to stay warm for at least 30 minutes or so.
It's about an hour, but we would have to climb up and risk being seen. I was thinking maybe Blade, he hasn't pulled his HUD out in a while. You can also change it to the color of the landscape. Give us time to change into our winter clothes and any spells or health that need to come back. I did use a 5th level spell to get someone farted in the nymph's house or something. It was terrible. So
You all are welcome to enter my hut.
maybe we can position it in a way that we can have eyes at all times on the tower to see what happens. Locust, Gladia, any objections?
Nope.
No, I think that's fine with me. Whatever. As long as we just gotta, make sure we're fully prepared for what's about to happen. So much can go wrong so quickly.
So with that, Blade is going to kind of go lean over towards the ground and pick up some ice and snow and kind of hold it in his hands, and then kind of lift his arm up, and you kind of start to see a kind of for flavor, kind of like a snowy kind of hut, just kind of colored white to blend in with the surroundings. Yeah.
All right, yeah, perfect. Hut is summoned, and the lot of you kind of find your way inside. Tell me kind of how you proceed. Who's pulling guard duty? Are you guys casting any spells, taking any rests? Let me know.
Logus would like to position himself to have eyes on the tower. And since this hut does last a while, if there's no objections, I would do the 4 hours that I need to get the long, just so I could get my spell slots back, and just kind of use that time to just keep eyes on the tower, see if anything happens.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you would be able to meditate for 4 hours or watch the tower for something to happen. You're gonna have to pick one.
Renwick, do you need to rest or anything? Maybe you can have eyes while I take a nap.
Yeah, I can certainly take point. I can't say that I've really expended myself today very much because I'm at full health, and I think I still have 20 temporary hit points, and I haven't burned any spells or anything. So
But I would still meditate in that direction. That way, if anything passively happens while I'm meditating, I can at least be aware.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out and just keep an eye out with Renwick, make sure that nobody stumbles upon our little igloo.
I'm going to, I think, just kind of for now dismiss Gabrielter, because I would imagine Winter Eladrin wouldn't have a Pegasus. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna just kind of, as we're going into, all filtering into the hut, I'm just gonna turn around and kind of put an arm on Gabrielter and be like, "My friend, I'll be back for you. We'll call on you shortly. But this is not your place." And yeah,
He just fades back into the ether where he came from.
but I think the only other thing I would need to do, I don't think I really need to rest. I think is just make sure I have. I think I had him out anyways, but Archie, I'm gonna just make sure he's out in owl form.
Okay, yeah, perfect. He hoots excitedly. Locris, anything?
No, he was just going to be rereading his book on the Feywild, trying now that he's experienced it, trying to figure all that shit out.
Is
See if
there
he comes across any clues.
is there anything in particular that you would like to thumb through this encyclopedia of the Fae?
Primarily, right now, he's looking for anything talking about the Winter Court, just to see if he could come across any, glean any information.
And when you go to look through that, Renwick's also going to go, while you're browsing around, keep an eye out. See if you notice anything in that book of yours about greater fey dust and we might be able to use it for. And he kind of like jingles a jar full of this golden dust that he had harvested after killing the Spring King. Like something tells me that it might have some interesting magical uses, but I hesitate to try it out without any knowledge.
So I keep an eye open for that too.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're kind of flipping through the pages of this book. I'll say you could do it with advantage. Alright, a 16. I'll say with a 16, Greater Fey Dust is mentioned in a chapter that talks about resurrection. Essentially, having a pinch of Greater Fey Dust is a similar spell component to having an entire corpse for resurrection or bringing back to life purposes. You would be able to, resurrect the Spring King. It looks like if you performed the correct rituals and got the right spell components together. As for the Winter Court, you're flipping through various pages, and one thing that sticks out in particular is a drawing, and this drawing is of a white tower, but it's almost from like a side view, and you see that in this picture, the White Tower seems to be where the Queen resides, yet underneath it is an entire thriving city and ecosystem full of tons and tons of various fae.
And what we're sitting outside of now is just a tower.
Correct. So you would see this picture is essentially kind of like a side view, and you see the ground and the tower, but you also see beneath the ground in this picture. So it would appear that beneath a tower or the tower next to you is a thriving Fey city, but it is very much subterranean. It would also appear that the tower is where the queen resides.
All right, guys. Little good news, maybe. Bad news, maybe. So, as I'm looking through this book, this tower is where the queen is. However, there's a sprawling metropolis underneath. So, I don't know if we're really close or if going through takes us in some weird ass roundabout way. And then I'll kind of show him the drawing.
Well, I mean, at least we know we're on the right track. Like, it can't be. I mean, how many towers do you think there are around here? I mean, it's probably this one, or at least we can get down to the underground until we find the right tower and come up from the bottom.
Well, I assume the tower's correct. It's just whether the doors go straight into her tower, so easy in, easy out, or it backtracks a lot, going miles down, and we're actually a lot further than we think we are.
Hmm. Yeah, true. Well, I think our probably the first step is just get in through that door, and then we can readjust the plan if we have to find another way up if we can't get up through that door. Hopefully, it's the right one though.
Hey, Sean, with that insight check that I had earlier, would I be able to tell if this is a beast or a monster or what type of creature this would be?
The Fomorian?
Yes.
It is definitely like an underground variant of giant.
Are giants considered humanoids or monsters? I don't want to Google it. Would I know?
I mean, he's a huge giant, and he looks humanoid to me, so I'm just going to call him humanoid.
Okay. Because since I'm taking my long rest, I'm mucking around with my spells a little bit, trying to see if I have anything.
All right, at a cursory glance without actually looking up stat blocks, giants are not considered humanoids in 5e. They're distinct because I'm assuming because of their size.
Well, there you go. Not a humanoid. I stand corrected.
Yeah, otherwise, charm person works on them at such a low level, and they're
Precisely.
not that small. Let's go. And so you got a
So,
charm monster.
okay, so they'd be under the monster category or beast category.
I think
Beast is usually intelligence of 4 or less. So they're considered like lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my.
Yeah,
Everything else is a
I
monster.
don't want to look at the stat block specifically, but I would speculate that it would be considered a monster. Beasts are usually more like animalistic.
Yeah, your beasts would be your wolves and shit like that. Your humanoids are, well, humans. And what could be mistaken for humans or cosplay. And then monsters are fucking everything. Oh,
Yeah, I think giant might actually be its own classification because I look at the Fomorian stat block and it says huge, giant, chaotic evil. Then I move to like another, then the next page over is like a medium elemental, neutral. Next one's like a medium plant, unaligned, et cetera, et cetera. So giant might be its own classification as far as I know.
Well, that runs
Well,
into the
elementals are considered elementals, fairy, aberrations fall under the monster. So I assume the giant just falls with them.
because
Makes
that
sense.
runs into the thing. There's no spell called dominate giant. There is one called dominate monster or beast. so
Yeah,
that's
that makes sense to me.
Yeah, out of those two, you want the monster, not the beast.
Renwick, I will say if you're keeping watch on this tower, now that I know your passive is 20, every once in a while, it looks like a blue light ventures rather quickly out in this vast frozen tundra and just kind of finds its way to the tower. It doesn't go in the door. It seems to just absorb into the wall, like just goes right through the wall. One little light and then another. Some of them at ground level, some of them much higher up in the tower. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you kind of eyeball these little balls of light.
25.
It would appear that some sort of fae, a small fairy-like creature that glows in the midnight, the ever-present nighttime. They occasionally, some of them show up. None of them seem to be leaving, but every once in a while, one of these blue lights just kind of seems to zip into the tower, goes right through a wall.
Yeah, he's gonna relay that to the party. I assume, like, if anybody's up, and if not, when they wake up, he'll just bring that up.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping. I only used one low level spell slot, so I was sitting up with you.
Okay, so while Logos rests, is there anything anybody else needs to do?
Um, I don't think so. All right, so we're about to go in. Let's death work. I'm nervous. I don't know what's happening. No, I think I'm good right now.
All right, after a few hours of rest and meditation, Logos, you've claimed your long rest and restored your health and spell slots. So, as Logos kind of finishes preparing rather, tell me kind of how you guys proceed.
once Renwick, I'm up and more alert. What would I be able to maybe see one of these little fairy things coming, or try to keep an eye out for one of these little lights flying in?
Yeah, once Renwick points it out, you're pretty capable of seeing it. It's not super frequent, but every 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes, a light will appear from off in the distance and find its way to the tower.
Do they seem to be coming in a general direction, or is it always different?
They seem to be coming from random directions, and they seem to be entering at random points on the tower as well.
Oh shoot! Maybe our best bet is to try to capture one of these things, get some information. I did have luck catching a fairy before. Try to mess with my boy Blade here, and I like tap him in the chest. They are uh, catchable. It seems that it would be a matter of luck of trying to position ourselves in a way that we can catch it.
Yeah, and thanks to this fancy crown that I have, if might be able to talk our way into some information. Gotta catch it though.
Would it be inhumane to capture one of these things in a jar?
I wouldn't say inhumane, kind of probably insulting.
Didn't you suffocate one in a birdhouse or something?
No, I let him have free reign of his home and he could leave it whenever he wanted. Just happened to be in an area that has no oxygen. Really bad real estate.
Yeah, you shouldn't put a house where there's no oxygen. Um, could I try to maybe try to? I'm gonna try to move stealthily if we're kicking things off, if no one else, and try to position myself just in an area where it seems that they come in a little more frequent than others. You know, kind of low enough to where maybe I could potentially grab one.
Okay, I'm gonna treat this just kind of like you would be like stalking a regular animal in the material plane. Go ahead and give me a survival check to see if you can't position yourself in such a place and way that you might be able to capture one of these traveling fairies.
Oops, accidentally. A survival. That's a 24 total.
Okay, you have to kind of creep off into this frozen tundra for just a bit, to find the right hill that's the right shape, a little bit of an overhang, and you sit and you wait. Probably a half hour goes by, but eventually, off in the distance, one of these fairies comes buzzing towards this tower. It is. Go ahead and actually give me a stealth check at this point.
If we are, I would have used Pass Without a Trace again.
Okay, for sure.
And Renwick, are you there with me, or is it just me?
No, I'll back you up.
All right, then.
All right, stealth checks from both of you.
Give you that +10.
I was gonna say Pass Without a Trace is still up, right? So
No, I would have had to cast it again, but I'll cast it again. Oof, 39.
36 for me.
D&D
So
Beyond is
you guys are
rolling
just
a rock,
yeah.
bro.
Wow. One with the
I'm using
shadows
D&D
and the
Beyond.
ice. Maybe it's the winter clothes that just blend in. You guys are perfectly hidden. And as this creature comes buzzing by, it is roughly 20 feet in the air, but it does not see you. And it approaches. So kind of tell me what your guys' plan is and how you go from here.
20 feet in the air. Renwick, do you think I could throw you up 20 feet?
That might be a bit of a task. You probably should have asked the wizard if you were looking to throw me pretty high. We
Yeah,
haven't
but wizard.
you know, it worked once and it saved a life. I do have fishing tackle.
I'll allow it if you want to give me a sleight of hand to try to nail this fairy midair.
I will absolutely do that. So what you see is Renwick's just like you're spotting, and all of a sudden he reaches down in his bag and he's like fumbling around for a second because it's been a long time. And all of a sudden he just pulls out this fishing rod like inch by inch, and it's got his lucky lure attached to it, the one that saved. I think it was you actually that I hooked. It was either you or Gladier that I hooked with it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so he pulls it out and then he just starts doing the perfect cast from the Goofy movie, and he's gonna let it fly and try to hook one of these fairies.
That's horrible. Like,
All right, man. Go ahead and give me. I'll say you can make a ranged attack roll with this.
I forgot I can fly.
Well,
Oh,
this is
Christ.
much more fun. And if you fly, then it's gonna be like you're gonna be like you're gonna get seen if you go up in the air, but nobody's gonna see this lure flying through the air. Hopefully.
What's a 39 stealth?
So,
I
how do you
know.
want me to handle this ranged attack roll, or do you want me to do a sleight of hand? 'Cause, like otherwise, like my light crossbow is a +10. My other hand crossbow is a +12. My tiny fey crossbow is a +30.
I'm gonna say let's go with just a regular ranged attack roll. No, like well, yeah, you actually are proficient with it since of your background. Yeah, I'll say ranged attack roll standard, I guess.
So ranged attack roll would be what? Dexterity
Plus your proficiency, I believe.
proficiency. So all right, yeah, so +10, so same as a sleight of hand anyway. Fuck me, I rolled a 3 though for a 13.
The DC wasn't too high, but it was a smidge higher than that. This lure sails by the fairy, and once it sees it coming, though it doesn't quite see you guys thanks to your ungodly stealth rolls, it does look concerned, and it completely changes course. It goes. It begins.
Person.
Okay, it begins heading in the direction that it came. And if you're willing to burn the spell slot, what do you need from me? A charisma
Wisdom
save?
18.
Wisdom 18. I'm looking at 19 on the die, unfortunately.
Oh my god,
I didn't
I'll
even have
cast
to pull
it again.
Okay. Sure. This time it is a 5. 5 on the die plus the modifiers only becomes a 9. So, frozen in place. This fairy falls from the sky.
I will put it in a jar. I guess take it back to the group. I'm not really sure.
Okay, yeah. Renwick and Logos return after, probably half hour, 45 minutes of scampering off into the dunes, and they have a jar containing a blue glowing ice fairy that looks quite upset.
Well, that's up to a great start.
Look, Chris, torture this thing, get information out of it.
No.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ.
No.
I'll hand the jar to Locris.
Why don't we save the torture for extreme measures?
Yeah, why don't we
Perhaps
just
a little
start talking about this
diplomacy
first?
first.
No, this thing can't live. It'll tell. It'll tell that we're here. It's unfortunate, but we can't risk the queen finding out we're here.
I'm sure we
Well,
can
if
strike a deal with it.
you got to be careful what you say in front of him, because if you tell him that you're not going to let him live anyway, then what's the inclination for him to give us any information?
The death will be more painful.
Hmm.
Does anybody speak Sylvan before we go burning a spell? Just in case it does not speak common.
I do not.
Yeah, no, I speak Draconic, Dwarvish, and Infernal, but I don't think any of that's going to help us here.
I speak Druidic, Elvish, and Common, amongst others, but those are the only ones I could see potentially being useful here.
Yeah, halfling and thieves count for me.
All right, Blade, try talking to it in a friendlier manner than what Forest Boy here is jumping to. Seriously, you get laid one time and you become a completely different person.
Could I like roll or something? Because did he hear me say all that?
I mean, he's literally in a jar in your hand before you handed him to Locris. So yeah, I'm gonna say he heard you.
I was just kidding, little guy. You help us out, we'll let you go. No problems.
Well, maybe you'll get lucky and it does not speak common and has no idea what you said and it's just going to be in general pissed off because it was captured.
Can I look at its little face and insight check? Does it look scared? Does it look like it understood me?
I'll allow you to insight check it, but tell me on the hold person spell, what's the duration on that?
Minute.
Okay, yeah, for sure. It's faded by now. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
God, it's gonna cast something on us. It's gonna fuck us up. Oof, 13 total.
You are unsure if it understands you or not.
Blade is going to kind of maybe kneel down to the jar and look at this Fae and be like, can you understand us? Nod yes or no.
He bangs on the jar with his hands, futilely, but does not respond.
Blade looks at Locris. It's not looking good. Maybe he didn't understand any of that, but he's still pretty pissed off.
Well, Renwick, do you want to use the scroll so that I have all the power might need for a confrontation with the giants if we can't get by? Or do
Certainly.
I burn a spell?
Oh no, I think that just in case it's better to burn a scroll and keep your slots. And he'll pull the scroll out and pass it over to Blade.
Blade will grab the scroll and uh, use it promptly.
And we are reading a few arcane words off the scroll. It disappears into a bit of arcane ethereal energy, which then surges into your throat, allowing you to speak and understand a whole wide plethora of languages.
Let's try this again. Can you understand me?
His eyes kind of go wide, and he nods. You speak Fey.
Well, not typically, but with a little aid, I do. First off, before we even go further, I'm really sorry about how this all came out. My friends here have a little less finesse in the social.
His eyes narrow as he stares at you. He folds his arms. He taps his foot. Like, so? What? What? What do you... What? I got things to do. You gotta let me out of here.
Fair enough. Your time is precious, and so is ours. I'm going to cut right to the chase. We need inside that tower, and we have our reasons, and we don't wish to bring harm upon anyone there at all. But we're not from this realm, this plane, and we need a way in. And hopefully, maybe you can give us a little insight on that.
If I tell you the way in, you have to promise to let me go.
Promises.
Yeah.
All right. I'll promise, but with a counter promise.
His eyes narrow again as he makes yet another insight check on you.
You tell us how we can go about getting in there as, as the squad, as our crew. Something reasonable. And we'll let you go. But you do not say a word to anyone, any of the Fae here. Or humans, anyone. You don't speak of this.
I don't speak of this, but it's not like I don't speak forever, right?
Blade,
There,
what's happening? What's happening? It sounds like what's
hold
he
on.
saying?
I'm trying to strike up an agreement with him. He can certainly tell us how to get into here, but he wants me to promise that I let him go afterwards. And I'm trying to counter-promise him that he don't say anything and give us up.
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as he doesn't give us up, we'll let him go.
So,
I promise that I will tell you how to get into the tower, and I won't tell anyone about your presence here ever. And I will leave immediately. But you have to free me.
All our presents. Make sure he says all of us.
You don't understand what he's saying.
I speak Fae this whole time.
all right. And one last thing that I might request.
He rolls his eyes heavily. Oh my
I know.
god.
So, we will let you go if you tell us how to get into this castle reasonably. We know that there's an underground city of sorts there. Um, and you do not give us away, tell anyone of this instance. And also, I would like your name as well. So, in case any fuckery comes about and this comes back on us, and you're going to be the loose end here, it's going to come back on you.
I don't know. I might just sit in this jar for a little while. I don't want to. You can't have my name. I need it. It's powerful sometimes.
But you have nothing to fear if you keep a promise. We wish
I
to no
counter
harm.
promise your counter promise with that if I keep my word, you will never ever utter my name to anyone for any reason or ever.
I mean, unless we need it to get inside, or you give us up for some reason.
Blade,
His eyes narrow again. He says, we're gonna have to get parchment involved in this.
Blade, just tell him we'll kill him. What's he saying?
Oh my god, I'm sorry. One second. I don't know your name, but one second. My friend here is just chatting my ear off. Locus,
Blade, Blade.
Locus, can you grab some parchment paper? We need to make a agreement here.
Okay,
Parchment.
Blake,
Does anybody
what
have
is
parchment paper?
the literal wording that you're making a deal about?
I would like him to give us information on how to get inside this tower reasonably as a crew, not just say, oh, you teleport in, but there's all these other details we need. But I also want him to not speak of this as to of this instance and give us up, you know. But
Well, we already know the reasonable way in through a door. The door. Instead of saying tell us, I would say get us inside before you release him.
uh, that's a even better way to put it. Okay, and where's that parchment? Blade will turn back to the Fae here. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's do this. We're getting some parchment. We're going to write it all out. But the gist of it is, you get us, not just tell us, you get us into that tower. And don't speak of this. I won't even take your name if it's powerful. But get us inside, but do not tell anyone about us.
Alright, so let me get this straight. I get you inside, and I say nothing about any of this to anyone. And you let me go.
Mm, it would seem that would be the way to do it. And can I do a quick insight check on this guy? These phase are.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what? I think I can actually inspire myself now. So I'm going to give myself a little inspo.
I'll tap Blade on the shoulder and you can do this, buddy. Give him some guidance.
What does it look like when you inspire yourself? I'm so curious.
I I just I will. Why am I talking in his voice? I will. What would I do? Oh my god, that's a great question.
Pull out a little mirror. It's like, you fucking do this, goddammit. You're the greatest. You're fucking Blade Silverstring, goddammit. Slap yourself once. That's how I picture it.
Yeah, no, that sounds like something he would do too. So I'll probably be confusing this Fae. Just pull out a maybe looking in like the reflection of the hut or something, just pumping myself up. You got this. You can do it. Um, and okay, so I will roll insight on this guy. So it's a 1d. So that. Oh, whoopsies. Not a very good modifier. So 15, and I can do a plus 12 on that for a 12. Yes. So 27, and guidance is a D4
Yes.
and a 1 on that. So 28.
All right, with a 28 insight, this guy's got a cheeky ass grin, and you are confident he is up to something. he looks at you and says, "All right, all right, all right, all right. Let me try this. How about this? You just let me go, and I will get you inside, and I won't tell anyone here about you guys after that. Deal?"
No deal. You've got this cheeky grin, and I don't like it.
With his passive insight perception. Hey, Blade, why is he cheeky? Why is he got a cheeky grin?
Now he's holding back something here. He's getting confusing with his words. So
Why do you want in the tower?
we have an old friend there that we're trying to meet up with.
It's just the queen in there, and she's no one's friend.
Well, we have friends in high places.
I mean, okay. You let me out of the jar. I will get you into the tower. And then, from that point on, I will not say another word about your existence.
So you won't tell anyone, not just here, anyone.
He crosses his heart. He says, "Cross my heart and hope to die."
I don't know how I feel about it.
He throws his arms up in the air and rolls his eyes as he shakes his head and wanders. He starts pacing inside the jar.
All right. So you will get us inside and then not tell anyone, all of us. I want all of us inside. Not just me, my whole party here. You won't say a word to anyone, and I don't want you to get us inside by leading us to the gods and just being like, okay, here's these people and they take us prisoner. I want to get in unnoticed.
He rolls his eyes again. He's like, man, the orders are like tall around here. I can't get you in unnoticed. It's not, you're too big. Maybe one of you, the small one, if we're lucky. I can't get you all in unnoticed. The best way to get in, I'm telling you, I got it. I can get you and all of your buddies inside safely. And then I will not tell anyone about anything. But you gotta let me out of the jar first. Deal's a deal.
I know this guy's super fucking shady.
Well, what's he saying now?
Well, he says he can get us inside, all of us, safely, but it wouldn't be unnoticed. And he would not speak of this instance to anyone again.
Well, do you trust him, or is he a little shady, a little shifty guy?
No, he's shady as fuck.
Well, he's probably
Fuck this plane.
Can
gonna
I
guards and tell him to get us inside without killing us, and then put us in jail.
I know, even though I can't understand him, can I like inside check his face? Does he still have that damn cheeky grin?
Yeah, give me an insight check.
Maybe we just, I don't know, leave him in the jar here and try your little semen trick, and then on our way out, we can just let him free. He just
19
hang out in the jar
insight.
for a little while. Seeming.
That's
It's
how I
hard
heard
to
it too.
it's
The
hard to say
semen trick.
it's hard to say
I got
seeming
some
with
of
a
them.
southern accent. It absolutely I heard it the moment I said it.
You
It's like
partial to those giant things, Gladiator?
I don't know. I mean, if we don't trust this guy, then we try a different route.
We do the old blade route, just fuck our way through the tower, huh?
No, I meant see, fuck it. His magic spell that makes us look like something else.
Logus with a 19. He's still kind of got a cheeky, cocky grin and attitude and aura about him.
Yeah, I don't trust this guy. I'm gonna snatch the jar. Locris, now will you torture him? He doesn't understand us and he's being a little dickhead. You can see it on his face.
Blade is gonna turn and look at him and be like, "Well, we tried to do this diplomatically, but I don't trust you."
It's like, whoa. Okay, all right. Well, what if you just let me out and then I tell you how to get to the tower? Better deal? Yeah?
What's he saying, Blade?
He says if we just let him out, it doesn't look like he wants things to get violent.
Tell him no dice.
But if we let him
No
out, he'll tell
dice.
us
And
how to get into the
I'll
tower.
start like shaking the jar a little bit. He
No,
has
we've
to tell
we've
us.
seen this before. We know how this goes. If we let him out at this
Yeah.
point, he's gonna do some sort of fey fuckery. You know what needs to be done.
Sean, are there any large other than the tower landmarks, like something that stands out, like a rock or a boulder or something that
I'd say,
like,
yeah, there's pyres of ice. There's some dunes are bigger than others. Yeah, some have overhangs of ice. There's plenty to view in this icy tundra.
anything like close by, like within 15, 20 feet of us right now?
Yeah, you guys are relatively close to the dunes. I imagine you guys set up the hut in the dune because it would kind of look like a dune. So, yeah, definitely some dunes nearby.
All right, I'd try and find like something obvious that I would be able to find again near the since we're like somewhat near the tower, like a boulder or like a very specific looking like ice fire chunk or something.
Okay, yeah, you could easily find like a unique ice chunk just kind of sitting in these dunes.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'd find something unique that I would be able to recognize again and find again. And I'm gonna walk up to Blade, the jar, and just walk over and just sit the jar next to the whatever this like the landmark is, and then walk back to the group. All right, guys, that guy's obviously not panning out. He's just gonna get us caught or worse. Why don't we just try a different plan? We can get him on the way out, let him
Gladiator,
free or something.
we have to kill him.
He's stuck in a jar. He's not
He
going
can drink
anywhere.
out of the jar. We have to kill him, Gladiator.
While
If
you
he put
guys
his
are
foot out the
arguing,
jar, he
Redwick
would've-
just walks over, snatches it out of your hand, walks over to Locris, and just says, "Do what you have to, but make him disappear." And then turns back to Blade and was like, "Are you still down to cast that seeming spell? Because we've been standing outside of this gate and it's fucking cold."
Yeah, let's go. And Blade will also throw down the portable hole on the ground and be like, if you want to throw the fairy in there, you can.
Well, I tried.
Oh, I'll keep it for now.
Sorry,
And
Giga
I'll
Girl.
throw it in the bag of holding.
Oh god.
Excellent.
We have Logus the serial kidnapper, Locris the serial fairy killer.
He's only killed 2 fairies. He's not a serial fairy killer yet.
I've
One
killed
more.
one
One more and it's a
so
streak.
far.
So far.
So far.
Oh,
With
yeah,
that
let's
being
go
said,
with it.
just keep kidnapping fairies and have Locris kill them.
All right. So should we all have just like Blake? Can you just turn us all into winter Eladrins? Like, because I think you can make everyone look different, right? It's not the same illusion.
yeah, I think
We could
alter the
all look like
appearance.
a variety of different winter Eladrin. I'm just going to look significantly smaller because I think it has to be within like a foot of the original creature size. So I go from like 3 foot and change to like 4 foot and change. But you
Yeah,
guys
take
would
the
all be
size
pretty
spell.
passable. So I guess you
Ah,
could just like make me look like a younger Eladrin, like a child, I
Yeah.
guess.
I could turn you into an owl or something and be my pet.
I really think that that's just a power trip for you because
No,
that's
it's
only going to
not. I mean,
last like an hour, and
Eladrins are
it's just I look.
small.
I've seen you do it to Gladier, and it's just a little bit demeaning.
I cast hold person.
We're getting a little analysis paralysis. We need
Blade, how many people can you do that spell on?
I think plenty of people, but let me double check the wording on that.
5 or more.
Any number of creatures that you see within range. Yeah. So all of y'all.
Say any creature you can see within range?
This spell allows you to change the appearance of any number of creatures that you can see within range,
Holy
and that's
shit.
30 feet. So
I
yeah,
want to
we
see
can
you
bring all
drop
kill
that in like the center of a crowded town and just like really like, fuck with people.
Turn everyone into cows.
or into beautiful nymphs.
All right, focus. Focus.
Sorry.
We did classic
I turned the
D&D
party into
mode. We
beautiful
spent
nymphs.
an hour and a half trying to
You
open a
know,
door.
yeah, I was just about to say that. We've been playing for almost 2 hours and we've done fucking nothing because we're just, it's just
Hey man, we're trying to
fucking
be
fair.
safe here, but unfortunately, we landed on the good option and then tried to catch fairies. We're back
it
to
was
seeming now. I think we
it
might
was a
actually
it
move
was a good
plot.
plan. It was a good plan until the little shit decided to be extra.
It was a good plan until it very quickly wasn't.
I mean, to be fair, we should have known better. When have we ever been able to talk to a fairy and have it work out in our favor?
Yeah.
We talk to Gladiator all the time. What are you talking about? Oh,
Damn.
All right. Winter Eladrin,
So I
Squirrel.
change everyone into beautiful nymphs. No, yes, Winter
well,
Eladrin.
wouldn't
That's right.
you change us to fairies then? Because we've seen nothing but fairies going through this place.
You guys are too big to be turned into fairies.
Well, you're too small to be an Eladrin.
Not if it's
Maybe
a
be
child.
like a youth Eladrin.
Even youth
They don't,
Eladrins are taller than Renwick. Come on now.
they don't all pop out of the womb 6 feet tall.
You don't know that.
So, as the spell cracks off, all of your guys' skin becomes like a varying shades of blue. I guess Locris's probably just stays the color it is. But you guys, grow in height. You're all roughly 7 feet in height, except for Renwick, of course, about half that. And you have like this icy white hair, and this kind of sparkly, glittering, almost icy blue clothing as well. The spell cracks off without a hitch. So, tell me how you proceed.
Okay, so how long do we have in this form?
It's 8 hours.
Uh, oh shoot! So both Winter Eladrin. What do we be snobby? The one winter that we met was all depressed. Do we be like moody, or does it what?
No, we just gotta walk up and act like we belong. That's all you need to do to get in anywhere.
Yeah. Just don't be doing any weird spells in the back, or crazy prayers. I look at Gladiator.
Listen, that saved us. Fuck you.
But it was fucking goofy looking.
I didn't decide how the spell is supposed to be cast. I didn't create it.
Fine, let's go. Fucking weird.
I will follow Blake and try to act like I belong. I guess.
Yeah, well,
All right.
I've maybe got some sway in my shoulders.
All right. So you head to the door of the tower then.
Yes.
I guess so.
Okay. So as you guys approach, in your wintry Eladrin forms, the two Fomorians, as they see you approach, they flex their great muscles, and these giant chunks of ice break loose as they step forward. One of them cocks a head. Walking in the winter. I thought Eladrin was smart. They both turn to this door, and with a massive club, they smack it and shatter all of the ice clinging to the front of this door. A shower of ice comes down briefly in front of you all, and each Fomorian grabs a large metal ring and begins to pull, and the doors to this tower creak open with a loud, slow creaking motion. And yeah, they hold the doors open for you.
I'll just kind of look at them both and just nod and walk forward.
I'll follow Blade's lead and nod as well.
And Glitter's gonna bring up the rear, so let everyone go first.
Renwick grabs Blade's hand as if that was his parental, or like his guardian or parental figure. Just
Okay.
plays the part of the kid.
I pull my arm back. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes, please come. I'll take his hand.
The Fomorians allow you guys to enter, and then as soon as the party passes the threshold, they begin to close these massive doors. You guys see yourselves in this tower, and this tower is, to your surprise, completely hollow as far up as you can see. This beautiful floor of marble white kind of extends around, but aside from a few windows and it looks to be various paintings that may be adorning the tower walls as they stretch upward, this room is entirely empty, save for a throne of white at its center. Sitting upon this throne is a fae like you have never seen before. This definitely part fairy. She almost looks feral, as she's got horns and glowing tattoos, glowing eyes, sharp teeth, exaggerated elvish features. And as she looks to you, as you guys enter and the door closes behind you, her piercing blue eyes stare you down as she kind of glares at you from this throne. Sitting in her lap, a small dragon that looks to be made of shadow. She pets it as someone would a cat, despite it occasionally fighting back, as cats typically will. It's aggressive. It claws and bites at her hand, but it does not stop her from stroking it like a cat as she glares at the party. Silence befalls the hall. Nothing but the sound of your footsteps as you approach. So what do you guys do from here?
So does it only look like there's like the throne and that's it? There's like no other rooms we could go to?
There
Oh,
is
sorry,
there
wrong room.
there is no other. Yeah, this room is completely empty and completely white. There are like things adorned on the walls. There's windows higher up, and also like various paintings that adorn the walls all the way up the tower as far as you could see. But in this immediate room, there is nothing but the throne. No other doors, no other exits. Just the unkind queen staring daggers at the sands of justice.
So I recognize her from the scrying, and this is the lady I saw.
For sure.
As we're walking in, can I kind of take stock of the surroundings? Is she in here by herself? I don't see my father anywhere.
It would appear, save for her, this dragon on her lap, and this throne, she is alone.
Are there any doors or passageways off, like either behind her or like kind of? I don't know. I would assume somewhere like on a throne there'd be a easy access for her to dip out if she needed to. So I'd kind of be looking behind and around the throne itself to see if there's any passageways or doors.
Or more specifically, I know that they
Stairs.
held my father in a tower. Do I see maybe um, a way up here, like stairs or like a door, like Gladiator said?
As you guys look around, there are no other doors. There does not appear to be a staircase or a ladder. There is nothing but white and ice on this like first layer, and then higher up there are, like I said, paintings and windows and things that kind of adorn the tower. But as you look up, you see that the tower goes for as far as you can see. You cannot actually see where it ends.
Gladiator's gonna walk up right behind Blade, kind of just like lean in and say softly, just like, well, think you might need your silver tongue there and smack him on the ass and cast Death Ward. So you touch a creature and grant a measure of protection from death. The first time the target will drop to 0 hit points before the spell ends, which is 8 hours. Target instead drops to 1 hit point and the spell ends. If the spell is still in effect when the target is subjected to an effect that would kill it instantly without dealing damage, that effect is negated against the target and the spell ends.
Oh boy.
Okay, noted.
Feel good about that, but also not. Scary shit. Yeah, I guess I'll kind of walk up to maybe, so she's on her throne, maybe just kind of like respectfully to the base of it and do a large bow, very deep bow, and say, "My queen."
She explodes with laughter and just kind of echoes through the hall. She says, "I am no queen of yours, manling. You think I can't see through these paltry disguises? I know exactly who you are, Sands of Justice, and I know exactly why you have come to my domain. And the answer is no. You cannot have him. I will keep him where he is." They were not guards at the front door. They are doormen. The unkind queen does not need guarded. Most guard themselves from me. So, what brings you to my winter court, besides perhaps a swift death?
Well,
I've come from my father. You've held him long enough, Queen. Me take him home, and nothing more will happen here.
Your father, she cocks her head to you. You are Logas. I will not release him. I have worked hard to get him where he is, and I would like to very much to keep him. But who am I to deny the bond between father and son? I may be persuaded to allow you to see him, to say your final goodbyes.
What will it take? I don't even know if he's alive. You could have been messing with my head this whole time.
He is alive and well. She smiles and she kind of looks off in the distance briefly. I quite enjoy his company. I would never bring harm to him. You lot, however, I will allow you and your companions 1 hour to say goodbye, and that is it. And then you will be banished from my lands, and you will never return. Provided that you both provide a bit of entertainment and survive it. She moves her hand ever so slightly to rest from where she's been kind of coddling and stroking this dragon. And as she does so, the very walls of this tower begin to grind and shift and move. The floor beneath you all separates quickly, dragging you all in separate directions. And before you all, you see that you are now in a pit in a massive icy coliseum, and it is filled with fae, screaming, cheering, clapping, and roaring. The crowd, or the the throne and the icy queen kind of detach from the floor and float off up above, and walls of ice erupt and separate all of you. And as she kind of floats upward to a vantage point where you could see, amidst all the cheers of the Eladrin and the Fomorians and the fairies and gnomes and other various fae, she looks down upon you all. A test to see if you are worthy of even giving your last words to my champion. She smiles as her throne settles into the one of the walls of this newly formed icy coliseum. And I'm going to have everybody roll me some initiative real quick.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Good
I'm
lord, dude. Logos is shooketh right now because I wrote a fucking natural one.
I'm terrified, but I am also incredibly excited for fucking goddamn Coliseum fight match.
I rolled a, so I have an 11 total. If you're doing it that way, I rolled a nat 1.
Damn, I'm going to say, yeah, I'll probably put you last on that nat one.
I'm shooketh.
Okay, so we got Blade at 21. Anybody above 21?
Oh shit. I got a 19. Not over 21, but high for Glader.
Okay, let me do this. Okay, 19 for Glader, you say?
Yes, sir.
Alright, Gladier. And what do I do with that? Okay. Alright, and then Renwick coming up with an 18 behind that. And that is okay, and then bring up Locris. Okay, and finally Logos, bringing up the rear. Okay, so each of you is kind of separated into your own quadrant, if you will, of this arena. Giant icy walls separate you from your allies, and let me move a couple things real quick. And yeah, let me take a quick pick of this scenario situation. But yes, you guys are essentially separated from your allies. You cannot see your allies any longer, and it is clear and apparent that a dome of arcane energy seems to cap you guys in this pit of the arena, while those outside excitedly look in. Not only that, several mirrored orbs seem to rotate around this arena, almost as if they were, cameras at a football game or something. They, in these orbs, you can see tons of cheers and cheering crowd members, just all various forms of fae, going absolutely wild at this outcome. And with that, let me drop this in the feed real quick. Sorry, my text a little slow today. Skadoosh. Alright. Maybe. There we go. Okay. So, as this kind of arena breaks down, we're going to start with Blade. Let's find this pic real quick. Blade. As you find yourself in this little pit, this little section of the arena, these creatures known simply as darklings are kind of menacing, but they seem to just form out of the various, just thin air. They and these fey darklings, 3 of them to be exact. I had to adjust your little spot. They look menacingly at you. They glare. One of them smiles, and they all draw their weapons. But Blade, you're actually first to act, so I'll try to get a better pick of your section real quick. But yeah, what is the plan here?
Oh boy. Hmm.
Okay, I sent you a little bit better pick of your area. There are 3 of these darkling elders kind of coalescing around you. These strange fey-like creatures that seem to be a mixture of snow, ice, and shadow.
Damn. I guess not what I was expecting. Hmm. How far away are these guys? Um. So I got one right next to me, pretty much, and
Yeah,
then 2 other.
one is about 10, 15 feet away. 2 is an additional 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's an even 30 feet away. 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, about 20 feet away. So they're in various distances, but they got, a couple different angles on you.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'm going to um I'm gonna crack off a spell, I think. Let me just be sure. Um okay. I'm going to, I guess, use I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers to the one right next to me, number 1.
Okay, and what do you need from me?
So that's gonna be a wisdom save.
I'm looking at an 11 on the die, but it does come out to a 17.
That is a fail. So I am going to cast that. I'm going to do it at 4th level. So he's going to take 66. I think it's psychic damage. Um, so, yep, psychic damage, and must immediately use its reaction if available to move far as its speed allows from me. Um, and just doesn't move into danger or anything like that. Um, and okay,
Excellent.
so 66. Oh my god. So they take 22 points of, or he takes 22 points of psychic damage.
Damn,
Um,
very nice. Let me write that down. And he uses his
and
reaction to kind of flee to the corner. He moves 5, 10, 15, 20 feet as he kind of keeping eye contact on you, but backing into the corner, terrified for the moment.
And I think I'm going to, for now, just have that be it. I'll give him a menacing glare.
All right, so moving on down. I'm gonna keep this going in kind of rounds. Essentially, I'm going to have you go, then your enemy go, and then we're gonna move on down to initiative, etc., etc., etc. So that being said, the Darkling's turn. One flees to the corner, is terrified of you. Do I have to repeat the save or anything, or is it for the duration?
I believe he can. Let's see. On a successful save, takes as much. I think it's over. Actually, once he moves his distance, I think it doesn't. I think it kind of fades off. That's how I understand it.
Okay, well, he's still burned enough movement not to be able to get into melee with you, but he does shake it off and begin approaching. Number 2, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet gets him right all up in melee with you there, Blade. And he pulls a short sword and makes a couple of attacks. Let's see here. 19 on the die actually becomes a 29. So, and
Oh, yeah.
16 to follow. So I imagine only one of those hits.
Yeah, definitely. The 29 nails me.
You're going to take a whopping 11 damage from this strike of this sword. The other 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet to get into melee range, and he swings his sword. 21 to hit for the first attack. 21 to hit for the first one, and a natural 20 for the second, unfortunately. Sorry, bud. So he cleaves you with another blow with his sword. That will be an additional 10 damage. And then the crit, oh, luckily for you, also 10 damage. Damn.
Okay, lucky.
So these darklings begin carving you up, and the one darkling that you had scared, number 1, though he cannot make it to you to strike an attack, he does cast the darkness spell on your belt. And a 15-foot circumference of magical darkness surrounds you, Blade. You
Let me
are...
counterspell that shit.
Okay, for sure. It's a low enough spell.
Yeah, like,
Counterspell done. Excellent.
don't need that fuckery.
Nice. Okay, moving on down. Gladier. Gladier, you're kind of centrally located in this arena, right? And standing across from you is a Behur hag, followed by a couple of boggles, these small fey-like creatures. And as they stare daggers at you, one thing different about your particular terrain, even though you are in a gladiator pit, there is also a 20-foot pit containing most of the room you are in. You have room to walk around the edges of it, but a majority of this icy room is, in fact, this pit. I'll take a picture and drop it in chat real quick.
All right, so I'm not sure if this is just because you used that book, but am I like on a raised platform, or am I on the same level as all the other uh sectioned off rooms?
You are on the same level as all the other section off rooms. I will say the border of that book will represent the walls that contain you.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I just didn't know if like you were using the book to like show elevation, or if it was just you wanted that, yeah, map there. So that makes sense. Okay.
I just wanted to use my pit map. So essentially, there's a
Yeah.
pit in front of you, and 4, 5, and 6 across. 4 is the Behir hag, and 5 and 6 are the little boggles.
And real quick, how tall do these walls look? Separating our separate rooms, death chambers.
They go all the way up to the arcane barrier that caps them. So it's probably about 40 feet.
Okay, so no climbing over. Heard. Oh man, so I can. I was like low key hoping I was on like some raised platform so I could jump down and help someone, but no, that would be too easy. Okay. Right. So I got hag and two boggles. All right. I think I'm gonna try and take out the hag first. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Damn, I can't move that far. All right. Root. I'm going to move my entire distance around the corner towards number 6, the boggle. I know I can't make it all the way there,
Do you have
but
40 feet of movement, 30 feet of movement?
I've oh, I think I have 40. I thought I had 35. No, I have 40 now. The 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
Okay,
Yeah, I can
yeah.
get like
You more than half the distance, but you're still 5,
yeah,
10, 15, about 15, 20 feet away still.
I don't really have range unless I want to throw something. Oh, wait. I have okay. Yeah. I'm going to pull out my javelin with the chain attached to it, and I would like to try. Up to you if you allow me to do this in one action. I do have 2 attacks per turn, so maybe that'll count towards it. But I want to try and throw the javelin at Boggle number 6, and then yank him into the pit.
Okay, yeah. Give me an attack roll, and if that works, an athletics check as well.
Okay, so that's it's a plus. God, I'm so stressed. These are a lot of fucking enemies. Um, that is only 14 to hit.
14 to hit does not hit the boggle, unfortunately. It's covered in like this oil or grease. It's very slippery, and as you hurl it, it almost just slips in its own grease and falls at the right moment to let the blow go by.
All right. Um, I'll try and reel the javelin back in if I can. Um,
I'll let you make an athletics or an acrobatics check. We'll call it DC 15 to pull the javelin back to you as a free action.
okay, fair enough. That's a 19 athletics.
Perfect. You missed the first blow, but like a yo-yo, you jerk on that thing just right, it comes flying right back to you.
All right, and I'm going to fuck it. I'm gonna cast yeah, why not? I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on myself. Bonus action.
Excellent.
So +2 to my AC. It is concentration. But yeah, that's I think that's all I can do.
Okay.
Terrified to see what
The
these people
Behir
do.
hag begins casting a spell. She targets you with the Hold Person spell. As it cracks off, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw, Gladier.
Oh boy. Wisdom saving throw. I think that's one of my highest. My dice are just like all not feeling me tonight. Uh, that's cocked. Oh, that's good. 28.
The
17 on the dial.
the effects of the spell do not seem to take hold, to her dismay. She angrily screams something in Sylvan to her boggles. And Boggle 5 and 6 both kind of take the same stance. You notice a small portal, a small black hole just kind of summons itself in front of each boggle, and they reach into it. Gladier, your coin purse.
You
a
gotta be
small,
kidding.
a small portal of similar size and shape, and a really thin, lean, but swift hand reaches out. And go ahead and give me, I'm going to say, a sleight of hand check, Gladier.
Point of order. There's been a lot of fuckery with that coin purse. And I don't remember the last time that we gave it back to him, but I'm pretty sure Locus or I might have it
Oh
right
shit,
now.
you might be right. Did you guys give it back to him?
I
I think last session you
I
guys stole it.
I think we took it from him, but I think the last time we didn't give it back.
No, I vaguely remember that too, actually.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think it's accurate. Okay, well, these
I mean,
boggles open these portals, and Gladier, what do you imagine you have on your person? They are actively fleecing you. I'm gonna say, if you have your javelin in hand, you probably don't have your khopesh in hand, and that's what they're going to grab.
yeah, I would say like either like his component pouch would be on his hip, easily within grasp of his hand, and then um yeah, his Kopesh would probably be like coin purse, Kopesh, and component pouch would probably be the only three things he would have on his belt.
Okay,
And
well,
since
definitely
they
reaching
technically
for the component pouch and the khopesh. Go ahead and give me 2 sleight of hand checks, Gladier.
fuck. Damn, I wish the first time I wish you guys had given me back my or not the first time, but I can't even think straight right now. The first one is hot garbage. That's a 4 side of hand.
One of the portals reaches out this knobby, kind of greasy, covered hand, and it snatches your component pouch right off your belt. Pulls it through the portal, and you see Boggle number 5 looks at your component pouch, shrugs, tosses it into the pit.
Into the pit, that little fucking son of a bitch. Are you shitting me? I literally rolled the same. Another 4.
Similar effect with your khopesh. This little boggle snatches it right off your belt from across the room, eyeballs it curiously for but a moment, and then throws it in the pit.
Oh.
Moving on down from there, let's go to Renwick. Where's Renwick at here? Oh, okay, cool. Renwick. Let's drop a couple of monstrosities into your feed as well. Standing not too far away from you, Renwick, are what is known as a Corrid. This small, almost like, looks like a satyr, but much shorter, and he appears to be made completely of stone. And accompanying him is a very odd but I don't know, fiercely looking insectoid creature known as a meanlock. So, this Corrid and this meanlock stare you down. I'll drop a pick in the feed, but tell me how you proceed.
Well, I guess this is as good a time as any to test out my new fancy tiny fey crossbow. But in an effort to proc sneak attack, let's see here. How far am I from these guys? I should hopefully be able to reach them. I've got 25 feet of movement. Can I get to either of these?
I would say 25 feet would get you to either one. There's a Korrid and a Meanlock. A Korrid is like this small stone satire-like fey creature, and the Meanlock is a very insectoid-like fey creature. Your choice.
I'm going for the Korrid because something tells me with that whip, he might be like the tamer of whatever the fuck that monstrosity is. And to proc my sneak attack, I need to get in melee range of him. So Renwick's just going to like full sprint toward him and then like last second kind of like drop down and slide onto like, you know, like a baseball slide. So like they hit the base and stand back up, and he stands up in that moment and just points this tiny fucking hand crossbow that like is the equivalent of what I assume the cricket would be for Men in Black in a medieval setting, and just like shoots this toothpick-sized bolt at point blank range at this creature with a plus 30 to hit.
Believe it or not, hits. Unless you roll a 1, it hits.
I was going to say, I will roll when I shoot that, just in case I get a 1 or a 20.
but
that was a 10 for
But you're
a 40.
allowed to re-roll once, so you actually have to roll
Exactly.
2 ones.
Yeah, I'm basically guared to proc sneak attack now. You armed me with something that has it set me up pretty well. So with that hit, I'm gonna do, let's see, 1 point of damage plus all my sneak attack. So that's gonna be 3, 7, 10, 13 points of damage there. And with a bonus action, I'm gonna summon a tentacle over by you called it a Meanlock, I believe.
Correct, a Meanlock, a very insectoid-like fey creature.
So I'm gonna summon a tentacle in between the Meanlock and I, kind of trying to like stave it off a little bit and take a swing with the tentacle. I just need to confirm what the to hit is because I don't use this much. It's a plus 10 to hit. That's a 17.
17 does not hit, unfortunately. Bounces off of this thing's hard carapace.
Fair enough. And let's see here. If I have any movement left, I had 25 to start with.
It took the full 25 to get to the core.
All right, yeah, that's what I figured. Then I think that'll be my turn. Yeah. Pump some damage into that guy, summon the tentacle, and that's where I'm gonna be. But you do notice like his sort of like he's blurring in and out of frame with his cloak, and I'm just gonna hope for the fucking best.
Okay, so the Korrid, you see after you kind of run up on him and give him a blast, he reaches down to the ground and grabs it and heaves. And he just pulls up a massive chunk of ice and marble out of this ground. Far, far bigger than him. So it's, impressive. It should not be physically possible. And he swings it at you. Let me go ahead and roll a die here. That is 18 on the die. Well, I gotta make it with disadvantage, actually. So 11 on the die, but that becomes a 28 to hit.
Yeah, I don't know in what world a 28 wouldn't hit.
This one eventually, if you guys keep getting stronger. I'm gonna roll this one in chat because I don't have enough d8s to murder you outright just yet. skadoosh. 17 points of bludgeoning damage as this Korrid just kind of bashes you with a piece of the floor that it literally just hefted up. The Meanlock, let's see here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The Meanlock bursts into shadow and is briefly gone. And then shadow coalesces behind you, and you are now flanked by the Meanlock and the Korrid. This creature emits a low-pitched hum that you did not notice from across the room, but standing right next to you, you certainly do. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw, Renwick.
Oh, that sounds fun. How's the 7 sound?
Not great. Just go ahead and just make a note. You are under the feared condition.
Oh, actually, I have advantage on saves against being frightened.
Oh, well, go ahead and roll again. See if you can't. It's not really a high DC, but 7's not going to do it.
Yeah, switch and die. My normal die is fucking me tonight. Natty 18 for a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will do the trick. This creature has strikes at you with its insectoid-like limbs. 15, roll with a disadvantage. 18, so 15's the low, does become a 24 to hit.
It would have hit either way. Once I take damage, my cloak is down until the start of my next turn.
Oh.
So that first hit dropped my cloak, so you would have hit me regardless.
Okay, good to know.
What was the damage?
Let's see here. Let me roll. It is actually not a damage, but a con save. As this thing strikes you, you take a whopping 3 points of damage. However, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw, as this thing's appendages seem to be covered in a sticky foreign substance.
Con save 17.
No effect aside from the bit of damage from this creature.
All right, so what was the damage from that? I got 17 from the Korrid.
An additional 3 from the strike from this creature.
Heard. All right, my 10 hit points are gone now.
All right, so with that, moving on down again. Locris, you are up. Let's see here. Locris, you are kind of familiar with what you're doing a bit of battle with, as you've recently been studying this Fey encyclopedia. Red caps, these very malicious types of gnome, but also a couple of red caps accompanied by a couple of quicklings, these short, very fast Fey. And I'll drop a pick in the feed, but then go ahead and tell me how you proceed.
All right. So you said I studied these creatures, right?
Correct. You have came across them in your Fey encyclopedia for sure.
Okay. So I would know, do they have any resistance or immunities to cold?
These particular Fey do not.
Perfect. What was that? All right, I'm going to.
I'll drop this into the feed. I sent it to the wrong spot. So 1 and 2 are quicklings. 3 and 4 are red caps.
I am going to kind of come down and around, kind of like I'm circling around 4 on his backside. And as I do so, as a bonus action, I'm going to start my Giant's Might. So I start growing in size. And then I bend down and I scoop up a bunch of snow off the ground and make kind of a snowball out of it. Throw it up in the air and I smash it with my Morning Star, casting Cone of Cold, which is a 60-foot cone, so it should get everybody.
Oh yeah, I think you could position yourself just right. So yeah, perfect. Nice, good call there. Go ahead and what do you need from me? Anything?
A Constitution saving throw, DC 18.
Okay, let's do this real quick. Let me grab a couple of them. All right, where is it? All right. Quickly, let's do both the red caps. It looks like this is going to be actually +8. Got one that's a 17 and one that is a 12. For the red caps the quicklings, sorry, and then going to the red caps, I got a 10 and an 8 on the die, and that gets a +8 as well, so 16 and 18.
Yeah. So
No, sorry,
only
it was a +5 actually, so it would be a 15 and a 13.
Oh, all right. Any that got 18 or higher only takes half damage. Anything that got below an 18 takes full damage. 33 points of cold damage.
All right. As you unleash this spell, kind of busts out here. You hit all of them, 33 on each. Well, one's halved, so that'll be around it to 16. Okay. You full on fry one of the 2 quicklings for sure. He is frozen in place, deceased, no longer able to do quickling cool things.
All right. That's action, bonus action. So that will end my turn.
Okay. The quicklings and redcaps. The quicklings. The quickling, I guess. He is got an exceptional amount of movement. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35 feet to get into range with you. He actually has 3 attacks that are pretty substantial to hits. I've got a 26 and a 21 compiled with an even 30. So I'm going to assume all 3 of those hit.
The 21 misses.
Oh, wow. All right. 2 hits out of the 3. Very nice. It's not too bad, but it's got some decent modifiers. The first blow is 9 piercing damage, as it's got a small dagger. The second blow is 11. So a couple of quick stabs from this quickling. Stab. So 9, 11, 20 total damage. And then the quickling is going to leave your area of attack. You could make an opportunity attack if you'd like. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. But if you do not, he moves 40 feet, well out of your range.
Yeah, I'll attack him.
Okay. Taking an attack on the quickling. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
17.
Unfortunately, your blow comes.
Sorry. Dirty 20.
Oh, that's
That was the old cheat.
That's the magic number. You connect. Go ahead and roll some damage.
All right. Nine plus 7, 16, or no, 7. Yeah, that was a 6. 6 plus 7, 13 points of piercing damage.
And with that, you club him good on his way by. He's still exceptionally fast as a quickling, but he's hurting. He limps away from you, but at a rate of speed that would, easily be a regular man's sprint. And with that, I think we will come to the bottom of the round. No, I didn't do the red caps. Ha! The red caps will step forward, flank you as they can, and make a couple of attacks there, Chris. They get a pile of attacks as well. That's kind of wild. Okay. A regular 10 and an 11 to hit from the first guy. Not going to work. They do get 3 attacks, but damn, I rolled a 3, 4, and a 5. So the first one comes at you, machetes clinging to the sickle, swinging it wildly, but does not manage to find purchase. The next red cap, that one might actually hit. Let's see, 24. The other one's a 5 again, so that didn't work out. And the last one is a 19. So I think only one of those hit.
Yes, the 24.
All right. We're looking at 4 plus a 1, which is a 5, plus the modifier. So a total of 13 slashing damage there, Locris.
Noted.
Locris, as you have slain one of these fae, the queen on her throne screams in discontent and smashes her hand into her throne. That being said, she casts the Bane spell from her throne upon you. You must make a charisma saving throw.
Wait, who's making the save?
Locris.
24.
That, believe it or not, is a pass, as she reaches out to try to affect your battle, not liking the turn of the outcome so far. She is unsuccessful, which seems to only enrage her further. Moving on down to the bottom of the round. Logos, you are up. It's funny that you were talking about puppies, because a couple of sprites, which are fairies you have already seen, are definitely in this small room with you. But also, so are a couple of what are called Yeth hounds. Drop them in. There you go. So, there are a couple Yeth hounds and 3 of these sprites kind of looking at you menacingly. I'll drop a pick in the feed, but
I'm just waiting on the pick so I can just see what I can do.
okay, dropping it in. 1 and 2 are Yeth hounds. 3, 4, and 5 are these sprites. Little flying fae versus these very large dog-like fae with human-like faces.
Could I make a snap, like look at the sprites and just kind of, are they holding ranged weapons or like close encounter weapons?
They all are holding bows. And, funny enough that you mention that, as you look at these sprites and they're all holding bows, they're all going to go ahead and use their reaction to turn invisible. So, you know they're there, but you do not know where they are.
Interesting. Um, could I get at least two of them in a 20-foot range?
A 20-foot like cone or square?
It'll be a sphere.
Yeah, I would say you could get two of them in a 20-foot sphere.
I'm gonna cast insect plague on two of them where I knew they were at.
Okay, so 4 is in the middle, so you have to get 4. But do you want 3 and 4 or 4 and 5?
I'm gonna get the outermost one.
Okay, 3 and 4 it is. What do you need from me?
Oh, shoot, I should have. A con save 18.
I got an 18 on the die, but I also got a 5. But it comes out to an even 22 and a 9. So
It was a 22 and a what?
one was a 22, the other was a 9.
Okay, so the one that failed takes 4d10, and the other takes half as much.
All right, give me some damage.
We're looking at 29 total.
As your spell cracks off and these insects kind of swarm the area, a couple of sprite corpses hit the ground.
I'm going to use my movement to enter the sphere and position myself to where if the dogs come at me, they have to enter the bugs. They're like swarming locusts.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Step inside your own swarm of insects.
So did they react before I could do anything, or could I still potentially use my bonus action to try to do something to the last one that's invisible, if I know where he's at?
They have not gone yet. Go ahead. What would you like to do? You can't see him, but you have a pretty good idea of where you think he might be.
Okay, never mind. Rereading the spell, I have to be able to see them. Um, that'll be my turn then.
All right. And before we probably put a bookmark in our tail for the time, fellas, before we end, I will say the queen, displeased with you slaying a couple of her sprites, Locris, she points at you and screams. A black beam of enervating energy springs from her finger towards you. Let me go ahead and make an attack roll. Does a 23 hit?
Is that at me? I thought I heard
Correct.
Locus.
No, I might have said Locris. I meant Logos. 23 to you, Logos, for freshly killing a few sprites. 23. Does 23 hit?
How far away is she from me?
Probably 250 feet or so. She's up high and looking down on the battlefield.
Hurt. Go right into my trap. No, just let me see. I have something. I just need to see the range. When a creature it's where is it? God damn it! Where the hell is it? When a creature you can see within. Oh no, it's only within 30 feet. Yeah, that hits.
She hits you with this beam of cold energy, and it's not Not too bad. Only 15 cold damage as this, a beam of frost shoots across the battlefield and strikes you. Satisfied for the time, she settles back down in her chair and turns her attention to another part of the gladiator arena. But I think that is probably where we're going to have to take a bookmark and stop our tale for the time being, fellas.
You don't want to do my opponent's attack so you can start clean at the top of the round?
Oh, shit. You know what? You're right. I'm a little fucking... I might have had a little too much wine today. But yeah.
That's
okay.
up to you.
No. Let's make sure to get you skadooshed. This sprite is going to strike from invisibility. Does a 17 hit?
That misses.
An invisible arrow whizzes by your ear. The Yeth Hounds, let's see, 5, 10, 15. They get within range of, at least the first one gets within range of your. I think he's going to risk it for his biscuit. 5, 10, 15, 20. He moves straight into melee with you. So he enters your swarm of insects.
So as soon as he enters, he would take the damage.
Okay, I think both of them have the movement to get to you, so they are both going to come in ravenously. What do you?
So
Is it a save or?
Yeah, con 18. So when they
Okay.
enter it for the first time and when they end their turn there, they take damage.
Okay, I've got a 9 and an 11, but what's there? So I've got a 17 and a 19.
One passes, one fails. 23 damage to the one that failed, half as much to the one that passed.
Okay, excellent. As they run up on you, they are. One of them actually begins baleful baying. It yipes and barks and howls at such a frequency that it is exceptionally unnerving. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw there, Logos.
God damn, wisdom's my shit, and I still failed. It's just a 9 total.
Okay. So this baleful baying does cause you to be under the fear effect. And with that, the other... Nope, he still has one attack aside from the baleful baying. Does a 19 hit?
That hits.
Okay, so with the baleful baying, it's going to be 2d6 plus the modifier. So you take 13 damage as this Yethhound who barked at you, essentially sending you into this fear just from the bite. So yeah, that's going to be 13 damage from the bite. But additionally, you will take an additional 14 psychic damage because when it attacks an opponent that it is feared, it deals extra damage. So 13 and 14. And the other Yethhound will just make 2 regular attacks on you. 17 and a 9. No, 12.
You both miss.
Chomp as it may, it does not find purchase. So just go ahead and make a note that you're currently under the fear status effect.
I don't see that in D&D Beyond. I just see frightened,
That'll work.
petrified, frightened.
Yeah, that'll work. And okay, now we'll put a bookmark in our tale for the time being, fellas. Sorry to keep you East Coasters up a little later than normal.
Oh, that's all good.
Oh no, worth it.
Barely 10 o'clock for me, man. I could keep going.
So yeah, essentially, Blade is sparring off against some Darkling elders. We've got Gladier up against a Behur hag and some Boggles. We've got Renwick going toe to toe with a Corrid and a Meanlock. We've got Locris dealing with some Quicklings and Redcaps. And then Logos dealing with some Yethhounds and Sprites. On top of that, the Unkind Queen seems not content to play fair and may or may not hurl spells at you depending on your actions. So, yeah, quite the encounter we shall start next session, fellas. See, put those extra levels to use.
Real quick before we hop off. So that Kopesh in the Rainbow Scabbard I bought or traded for last session, I don't remember what we did with it. I know I didn't inspect it further and figure out what the fuck it is. But Dakota, do you remember if I like handed it to you for the like bag of holding, or if I just like I don't know, because I know I traded my great axe, which wasn't in the bag of holding. I'm assuming I just had it like strung on my back or something.
I mean, I was assuming it was on you, but I mean, if you placed it somewhere, I didn't actually catch that note. But yeah,
I don't remember making a point of putting it somewhere else, but I just wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting something.
I think you and Locris kind of had a combo deal going. So as far as I remember, you took the Kopesh, Locris took the Ink Demon, and that was that.
Yeah, I believe you traded your axe for the Kopesh, and you should have the Kopesh on you, or I guess now it's in the pit, unless it was your other Kopesh.
No,
But yeah, you didn't give it to me to hold or anything like that.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
Gladier. I would say, what do you think? If none of this happened, if you remembered it, where would you say you put it?
In your ass.
yeah. No, I was thinking because I was thinking about that when I lost the Kopesh. I was like, okay, I know we had this new weapon that I traded for, um, and I never put the dual-sided great axe into the bag of holding. So I was like, okay, like I'm assuming Vader would have had the Kopesh on his hip, like a normal sword scabbard, and then the great axe, like maybe like on a strap across his back. So because I traded the great axe in for the Kopesh, I was like, okay, he probably would have replaced that position across his back with a new Kopesh. So like I was thinking logically,
Yeah, I mean
he probably
that
would
makes
have it.
sense. You probably still have
You know,
a melee weapon on you.
yeah, I just want to make sure that I didn't say like in session, okay, here, Renwick, take this Kopesh,
Yeah, I
and
don't think you
then
did.
all of a sudden it's on my
No,
back.
you definitely didn't have me hold on to it. So
Okay,
And
just want to make
I
sure.
was thinking of you specifically. I was sending out like a mental message as hard as I could right when I asked like okay, does anybody have anything they want to do at this long rest or what, you know what I mean? I was like, anybody want to do anything else? I was thinking like I was thinking of you, but alas.
My dumbass didn't check the previous session notes until like we started walking into the tower, and I was like, "Oh, let me make sure. Like, let me look over everything." And then I was like, "Oh shit, I got a new Kopesh, and I forgot to look at that."
Get ice cream. You good?
Yeah, you should definitely look at that sometime. It's a good one.
Yeah. Well, for now, at least I'll have a weapon. It'll be unattuned, and I won't know what it does, but at least I can do more than a fucking throwing a javelin.
If you survive.
If you live, yeah.
If I survive.
Excellent,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll see.
I honestly, you guys throw me for a loop sometimes. Like I did not expect the so much caution. I figured you guys were just gonna run in gung ho. I think Blade threw me off with his like, yeah, fuck it, let's go, shake the hand, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's why I thought the vibe was gonna be going into here, and then we're just like, all right, maybe we figure out what the hell's going on.
I didn't expect to be face to face with the queen so fast. They really
Dude,
threw me
same.
off.
I did not
that
think
was
we
the
were
thing
walking into
is
a throne
we
room.
didn't expect to get teleported. We were making all these plans, and it was like, oh, cool. So there's some things we should look for before we actually hit the road. And all of a sudden, it was like, oh, we're in the front yard.
Blade's fault.
Okay.
Y'all can thank me later.
I mean, to be fair, you did move the narrative enough that it bought us enough time that we could actually make a really good plan and then spend an hour debating other plans just to go back on the one that we had initially decided on.
So we're on course.
Well,
We're
you
good.
know what? You know what? His plan, it wouldn't have mattered. We could have walked up as us, and it would have literally been the same thing. Like
Yeah,
we never
exactly.
fooled
They would have gave
anybody
you
from the
some
beginning.
shit if you showed up as manlings, but essentially they were doormen. They wouldn't have hindered you much.
The
Like we
bane
did
of
all
every
that for
D&D party's
nothing.
existence is a door.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of D&D. It reminds me of that time in Hordenshire where it took you guys like 2 hours to cross the river.
God, that was
Oh, I think that was the first time that like we finally got to that point where it was like, Jesus fucking Christ, I don't care if we sink on this goddamn ship. Let's just move forward. Like this might be the TPK. It doesn't matter. We have to do something. Holy shit.
I should have remembered that she has like true sight or something because she saw my scrying orb. The
Yeah,
I
fucking
did
disguises would have
kind of
never.
hint that she had true sight. I
yeah.
tried.
The disguises were never gonna work. God damn it! I forgot.
I forgot about that too, honestly. Well,
Well,
we're in it now.
It should be interesting. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting Logos or Locris to just straight start downing these guys. So this will be an interesting fight. We'll see where it goes.
That is not coming at an easy cost. I'm using 5th and 6th level spells. That insect plague, it whops, it packs a punch, but it's a heavy price.
Yeah, well, I mean, you might as well burn it now. We can't hurt the queen.
that's fair.
But
No,
technically, anybody making her mad, are we not hurting her feelings?
She can like
She said
stub her
physical
toe or
harm.
something.
I think she specified physical harm.
She specified harm with malice. I'm
Harm with
not doing it to piss her off. I'm doing it to
say
keep
that.
my ass up.
Yeah. There's no
So
malice
it is
behind
not
it.
being done maliciously.
But seeing her throw a fit does feel good. Hello, guys. If we're being honest.
So are we all good for next week?
Yeah, I
Kevin?
already talked to Sean. I'm good for the next, including this week. So the next 2 weeks, I'll be good. It'll be after that when the rotation thing will start. So
Okay. So what I would say we should try to do next week, do campaign. Week after that, maybe do Mirama, just so I can have something for Call, kind of to keep him back, and that way Anthony can play him to that point, and then the following week we move forward 2 weeks of Mirama and 2 weeks of main campaign.
That works for me.
Yeah, sounds good.
yeah, man,
I'm
whatever
game for
works.
whatever.
What class is Doug gonna be?
Oh, definitely fighter.
Level 20 barbarian.
Fuck yeah.
Level 0 compost when I get done.
Fucking we're killing him.
Good God, Sean.
What rules your guys' party?
Level 0
Dog.
nerd.
It's fucking Doug, man.
Jesus, man. We lose Cal and you're gonna take Doug from us too?
I mean,
Doug took
He's
himself from you the moment he betrayed me. His existence was enough.
Sounds
But
good,
you
fellas.
created Doug.
No, Chris
Technically.
created Doug, didn't he? Or who? When did Doug came into the
Yeah,
picture?
Doug is Chris's
just
invention,
dark.
not mine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. He went by a different name, and we just decided to call him Doug.
At first, Chris was trying to. He kept calling him by his actual name. I literally heard him go, "Fuck it, his name's Doug now."
That's only because I forgot what his actual name was. So fuck it. Doug's easier.
Well,
Yeah, I really can't remember what his actual name was. That's bugging me now.
I just remember the spider scene. You know what I mean? Like I remember Doug was being a bandit, and Doug was being a douche, and we got there and saved his life. But I didn't want to reform him. I just wanted to execute him. I was outvoted.
We should have let the frog eat him.
I think that was the plan. We were trying to use Doug as bait, and everybody was getting sour about it. So I
Okay, I think-
sadly relinquished Doug back to the party.
It was mostly Call. Call was getting all butthurt about sacrificing Doug.
Well, with Call out of the way, nothing's to stop us now.
Anthony formed a strange attachment to Doug very quickly.
I mean,
Which is why
Balgrim
they
was
both
right there with
mysteriously
him.
disappear.
Balgrim was there with me.
Yeah,
He was team not killing Doug too.
Balgrim's having an existential crisis right now. He's not going to notice you guys going
that's
missing.
that's fair. I do have bigger fish to fry at the
Yeah,
moment.
Balgrim's the best.
Yeah, he's a paladin. Of course, he doesn't want to just kill a random guy.
Oh, I forgot about the part on the ship where he's just crying, dude. Oh.
Yeah, just sad boy
Balgrim.
orc right now because my god won't fucking help me. He never comes in clutch when I need him. It's always like, here's a nat 20 on a knowledge check. Every critical moment in a combat though, sub 10.
Dude, I'll never forget when you failed like 2-3 rolls in a row for trying to kick the door open.
Yeah, it was at least 3. It might have been 4 that I finally broke like an old rotten door. Oh, it's so
poor
bad.
Balgrim. Balgrim's got a rough life going on right now.
It is very fun to play an emo orc for what it's worth. That was not where I had intended that character to go, but the dice are just really telling a story at this point.
I am low-key excited to get back to the fighter. And I have took out a level in Rogue now, so that's fun.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna hop out here. I gotta go help the missus bathe the children.
Yeah, me too. I got to take off. No misses or children, but
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go pass the fuck out.
All right, guys, keep in touch. We'll do this crazy thing again soon.
All right, catch you
Good night,
guys
boys.
later.
Everyone.
Night.